true. Nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous I had been and am. But why will you say that I am mad? It is impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. I think it was his eyes. Yes, those damn pale eyes. True, he was blind, but yet whenever they rested upon me, my blood ran cold. And so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take his life. Now this is the point. You fancy me mad. Madmen know nothing. But you should have seen me, how wisely I proceeded. I was never kinder to the old man than during the week before I killed him. It was impossible to do the work when his eyes were closed, for it was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eyes. To think that there I was opening the door little by little, and he not even to dream of my secret deeds or thoughts. I fairly chuckled at the idea, and perhaps he heard me. He cried out, "Who's there?" But I kept quite still and said nothing. Came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound. I knew that sound well, too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It grew louder, I say, louder every moment. I thought the heart must burst. And now a new anxiety seized me. The sound would be heard by a neighbor. The old man's hour had come. He shrieked once only, but for many minutes the heart beat on. At length it ceased. The old man was dead. I placed my hand upon the heart and held it there many minutes, but there was no pulsation. The night waned, and I worked hastily, but in silence. His eyes would trouble me no more. There entered two who introduced themselves as officers of the police. A shriek had been heard by a neighbor during the night. Suspicion of foul play had been aroused, and they, the officers, had been dispatched to search the premises. I bade them search well. I led them at length to his chamber. In the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, sat myself upon the very spot in which resided the corpse. The officers were satisfied. My manner had convinced them. I was singularly at ease, but ere long, I felt myself getting pale and wished them gone. My head ached, and I fancied a ringing in my ears. It was a low, dull, quick sound, much such as the sound of the meticulous ticking of a watch. I paced the floor to and fro with heavy strides, but the noise steadily increased. It grew louder, and still they chatted pleasantly and smiled. Was it possible they heard not, Almighty God? No, they heard. They suspected. They knew. They were making a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I think. But anything was better than this agony. I could bear those hypocritical smiles no longer. I felt that I must scream or die. "Villains!" I shrieked. "Dissemble no more! I admit the deed! Here! It is the beating of his hideous heart!"